Plans are made when preparation meets opportunity. Yeah, I want to talk about this a little bit more. Preston, shall we take one call before I bring Darren in? All right, folks, you take one more call. Caller, go ahead. You want connected?
Hi, Lester.
Hey, bro.
Good morning. Lester, plenty Bahamians have won. They have invested in our natural resources when the Bahamian people lack very little information about it. Okay, you have a government and an opposition who are operating on the level of treason in this country. Bahamian people are dying, being raped, being murdered, dying in the hospital from dialysis. I want all of y'all in the government to know y'all are a bunch of murderers.
All right, that's enough of that. I try to talk winning and losing. People want to talk with the WTO.
Good morning. Yes, brother. How you doing? Would you agree 1242 in 2019 that social media or technology and the ability to travel around the world using social media makes us an international sovereign? Because every person in this country, the Bahamas is a sovereign country. That means if the country is sovereign, each person in the country is sovereign. Chapter 3, Article 26 is where I bring you, my brother. No government, cabinet, all guilty of this now, but I'm just going to read it anyway. No government cabinet shall make any provision which is discriminatory. The key word here that you're going to hear me for another minute or so is discriminatory. Either of itself or in its effect. That's the first point. I said they are already guilty. All. Number 2, no person shall be treated in a discriminatory manner. Everybody in this country, whether you know it or not, let AmosJuniorMiller, King Amos to some, tell you, you are being treated in a discriminatory manner.
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. My name is Juan McCartney. We got a lot going on. If you listen faster, you can catch up.
I'm here with you. No, Preston, that's quite all right. Yeah, man.
This interview just doesn't sound right. That was painful.
Oh, y'all cut it down, eh? I don't care what y'all do. All of us have to live. All of us feel pain, bleed.
Panic. All right? So now, if we don't have no money, brother, it does not matter if you is my auntie or my uncle who run in the country. It does not matter if you are my uncle or my auntie, mommy or daddy who run in the church. We all together make up this society, and the division that has to stop, because the church is not bigger than the government. Just like you were saying, basically the government is not, if it's smart, it's not bigger than the people. Basically, that's what you're saying. All right? The government and the church is not bigger than themselves. The people make up the church and the government. So either we believe in God or we don't. Those who believe in God is called pro-God. Those who don't is called anti-God. All right? Now everyone have their right to decide what they want. The majority of people, I'll bet my life, will choose pro-God. All right? And anyone, I mean, I'm talking about the majority of people in the Bahamas.
Yeah, I understand.
Question to us, and we will choose God. All right? And so that gives us the power then to possess the government, the church now. But see, the church possessing the government, but in context as the community possessing what belongs to them, which is their government.
Okay, we actually have to take a break right now. Sorry, I'm sure what went down. But later.
They take a little point from you and then they hang up the phone. I will start chapter 3, Article 26, 2 over. No person shall be treated in a discriminatory manner by any person acting by virtue of any written law or in the performance of the function of any public office or any public authority. Now, like I said, every Bahamian, whether you know it or not, you are being treated in a discriminatory manner by persons in our community who lied to get the job, okay, in our public offices, so they could have the authority over the public, okay, to do what? Discriminate against us. Why would they do that if the supreme document of our land, which is the Constitution, prohibits this? Why would they do it? They does it because they are afraid of nations that are greater and more powerful than us. For example, Great Britain. For example, America. Okay, just to name a few. For example, the European Union and their cohorts. Okay, and the sanctions they can bring against small nations such as the Bahamas. Then most of these citizens in our country that lie to the Bahamian people to get in public office, they discriminate, they break the law, break the Constitution, break the law by creating these policies that are discriminatory. No cabinet, no government shall make any provision in the law which is discriminatory either of itself or in its effect. Okay? Now, what laws do we have on our books concerning the Aragonite? What laws do we have on our books concerning our natural gas? What laws do we have on our books concerning all the natural jewels that are naturally created in the ocean? Many nations don't have oceans like us, especially Bajama areas where the tide runs low. We are being robbed out of our national treasures by our very own. Well, in the past, it was the foreigners who had because the Bahamas came out of a colonial dictatorship type of apartheid, and 46 years later, after independence, okay, after the so-called independence and our supreme document, which I read, was written, 46 years later, the Bahamian people have to be told simple things as like this. Now, chapter 3, 26:3 says, the expression discriminatory means affording different treatment to different persons attributably, wholly or mainly to their respective description by race. So the Bahamian people, natural resources are being plundered by our very own citizens to benefit from it secretly. That's treason, number one. That's treason. Secretly, by communicating with in this context, our enemy, because those who seek to benefit from the natural resources of this country without the Bahamian people knowledge and or without the Bahamian people blessing. So the wicked, and what makes our government corrupt and dangerously, murderously committing treason is the fact that they have secretly agreed with foreigners, okay, with foreigners to be discriminatory against us because of our race, black race. And according to the supreme law, that's a contravention of our, that is a contravention of our constitutional right as a community, as a nation. One person can say it, but it takes all that can vote to change it. We must recover all, and all means starting with all the land. The land is surrounded by ocean. You give up certain parts and portion of your land, and I'm speaking directly to the Bahamas government cabinet, the Free National Movement cabinet, on this 21st day of January 2019. And the four loyal opposition of Her Majesty. And I want Her Majesty to know that part of the Constitution that gives Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth Alexandra Mary II, okay, Chapter 6, Article 71, needs to be amended. This nation does not belong to Her Majesty the Queen, her heirs and her successors. And every 5 years, the people vote for their government sells them out by bowing and vowing to uphold the Queen, her heirs, and her successors. In a sovereign democratic country, that is conspiring with the enemy. Now, if you're going to do that, then you have to do exactly what the people say. So the people too can say they are a part of their government. Not that they are voting for their government, but once they vote for the government, Her Majesty the Queen, her heirs and successors, along with the United States government, desire for the Bahamian, by way of the Bahamas government, desire for the Bahamian people to vote their life savings away, to vote their national interests away. For example, if a government is taunting the people and threatening the people with WTO, knowing that the average person in this country is broke, according to them, does not have $500 in the bank, because they were saying that about 20 years ago. And 20 years later, it has to be the average of us don't have at least now down to $500 in the bank. Okay? Now, Amos Junior Miller, known to them and to the world of international sovereign public as King Amos, in this little room that I resides in, this is my little, what they call, I have been arrested, but it's under this type of what they call house arrest. You don't own the house because they already taken that. My home was $110,000 after the evaluation, between 110 150. They took it. General Electric, you too, is a part of this chapter 3, article 26.3. You have benefited from everything that the Bahamian people are not benefiting from in their country because of your nationality, your race, because you're American, because you're a Caucasian, because you all have a nuclear bomb, because you all have one of the most impressive and most deadly army on the planet, with your nuclear bombs in the thousands of warheads. This is why you all believe everyone in this country is supposed to be a robber, a thief, a gangster, no good, nothing. The stripes on the black man back, the black men back that were brought to this parts of the world, okay, that was beaten and treated like less than a human being according to your laws, America, in the past. That's why y'all don't want to promote the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. I despise all governments who refuse to uphold the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And before they uphold that document, from it they create international laws and policies, okay, and promote them without promoting the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Then they want to say some terrorist bomb America. The American government bomb America. The Bahamian government bomb America. The British government bomb America. The corrupt people in the Bahamas, the corrupt people in the Great Britain, the corrupt people in America. That's who bomb America Twin Towers. Whether you're like me after today or not, I ain't your king, I Yahweh king. And I ain't just the Bahamas Yahweh king, I's the entire universal Yahweh king for all black Hebrew, black skinned people that were taken captive as slaves and transported from Africa, our motherland, on slave ships. All of you pastors in the Bahamas, all of you pastors in Great Britain, all of you pastors in America, all of y'all have a duty to tell Amos Jr. Miller, known to the world as King Yeshua, which is King Jesus, because the Jesus Christ is in me. Lo, Christ is with us, King Emmanuel. To the very end, have I not told you so? Now, Bahamas, whose report are you going to believe? I even didn't start reading all of chapter 3, article 26.3, all of it. I only get to what discrimination means and why others were afforded treatment that we are not afforded. Okay? They are a bunch of murderers. If the mothers and the fathers in this country does not want to call the Free National, let's go back to the PLP. Y'all came around in 53. We starting this with y'all and we gonna end with the government within. Y'all were the first to violate the supreme law of our land and cause the world, countries like America and Great Britain that lords over our country with their foreign corporations in our country refusing to acknowledge that what Amos Jr. Miller, a Bahamian citizen, is saying in this country is true. Okay? All of y'all are violating the Constitution. I despise any mother, any father, any sister, any brother, any family member who will support the Progressive Liberal Party and their corruption, the government, the Free National Movement government, 2019 government, and their corruption, their corrupt policies that are discriminating against the Bahamian people and causing us, as a result of it, our lives. If you go with them, you are worse than them. They are the worst of the worst because this is what they have planned for me and you. Okay? Because of place of origin. We originated from Africa. That's why we're being treated like this throughout the Caribbean. So if the CSME want to talk, tell them talk this. If a prime minister want to talk in the Bahamas, tell him talk this. China, I will never, ever, ever, ever follow you as long as you are communists. You cannot expect to ban Amos Jr. Miller, the Bahamian video in China and expect for me to support a Bahamian government that is corrupt and dealing with y'all. That's two reasons why I'll never support y'all. Never! Now, America, what you gonna do? Because all of y'all wait for 40 years, from 1970 to 2010. Y'all waited for 40 years hoping I would die, or at best, if I make it to 40, I will not be educated, or worse than that, I'll be some kind of decadent human being, some disgusting, no good beast. But the Most High Yahweh Elohim, S-U-N, Son, Supreme, that's who I represent. The Bahamian people, that's who they are. I on your run. Okay? I got thousands of artistic expression that has been placed on the face of the earth, okay, to teach General Electric if Nikola Tesla was owed $50,000 for, what's the word I want to use? Improving DC current for Thomas Edison, he ought to get his $50,000 from General Electric Thomas Edison. Now, if they refuse to do that, it's no mistake in the Bahamas. My ex-wife works for a subsidiary owned by General Electric, and I'm catching this kind of hell. You're helping me to make my point. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, place of origin, political opinions. Obviously, and the next one is color or creed. Now, my color, my political opinion, I just told you I despise who, I just told you who I despise, okay? My color, I'm despised. They refuse to acknowledge, thanks to Dr. Billy Graham in 1971, preached a sermon and confessed to his people of America. But how many young persons in America is watch church to find out what Dr. Billy Graham said? Why don't y'all promote it so they can hear, like y'all promote these decadent music? Then y'all want these communist countries buy up the music from the people, okay, and hold these documentations over their head, but y'all won't buy it because y'all don't want the feedback to come to y'all, because y'all are the ones who have caused the people to be broke, and it was their little artistic expression, little music, and so everyone music I have used. May God, Yahweh Elohim's Son, continue to breathe eternal life in the writers, the singers, the producers, even the corporations that purchase the rights. Okay? I am King Amos. On the 2nd of June, 1970, I was born. On the 2nd of June, 2019, I shall become 49. 4 plus 9 is 13. That is representative of the 13th star. Okay? Which controls all the planets that surrounds it, that controls all the life force on Earth. All the energy comes from the sun. Every energy that a human cannot see, that is moving through the air, is there because of the sun. S-U-N, sun. Psalms 84 verse 11 says, for the Lord God is a sun and shield. Psalms 82 verse 5, the Most High called, verse 5 verse 6, the Most High have called us gods, children, his children, children of the Most High. Bahamas 1242. Whose report shall you believe? They're saying the crown on the line, and I'm saying I'm the king. What y'all saying? Because I'm ready to run as King Amos against all who shall run for government under the Progressive Liberal Party, the incumbent Free National Movement, and the DNA, and I am prepared to run as King Amos against the Bahamas National Coalition Party and or any other party that shows up itself for governance of this country. God has called the people of this country to be children of God. He has called this country to be a place of prayer. Everybody don't have to pray, but the world will know this is a place where people is pray. Not P-R-E-Y, pray on innocence and then brag, but the murder rate is down, but rape is up. Murder is a prey. Someone pray, P-R-E-Y, on someone's life. Rape is prey, P-R-E-Y. If it's up, you still fail. The Bahamian people who was raped, murder down, but you still fail those. Okay? You still fail those. All right? Who lost their lives. Okay? All right? Now, that's creed. Manant optima cavilo. The best things awaits us in heaven. That's the Miller motto. Okay? So this is why I'm hated. And y'all didn't want the world to know it like this because y'all wanted me to be uneducated. What we call in the Bahamas, dumb. Whereby persons of one such description are treated, are subject to disabilities, literally and figuratively speaking. My son, my first child, Joshua Jared Miller, was given medicine. Not him, They gave it to, they stick his mom with the medicine, gave her the pills to take, but he was the one who suffered the disability and was suffering the disability of their attack on me, my family, and my children, my home. The record is clear and there for the billions of the world to see. When I say I am the king, I asking the Bahamas government, Great Britain or America, nothing. I'm telling them, I'm declaring, if the Bahamian people want to benefit from the natural resources, number one, yes, we have to unite. PLP, FNMs, DNAs, Bahamas National Coalition Party members, all party members must unite and come together to choose their sovereign. Now, there will never be another human being in this Bahamas like AmosJuniorMiller. And I'm telling you all now, if you don't choose me, I jump on a flight and before I leave, I take off my shoes and I shake the dust off my shoe. Now, you Bahamian pastors, you Caribbean pastors, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, and I choose y'all to hold the gate. Close now. Close my gate. Close my gate. Call this 1242 Bahamian government, cabinet, close it. You want it closed? You choose, Bahamas, you young people all around the world who will hear me. Choose yourself, Yahweh Elohim, Son, in the name of Christ Jesus, the Yeshua, and live. Reject the Republicans, reject the Democrats. I don't even study Great Britain, so I couldn't tell you what they got over there. The House of Lords, all of them, reject them. Reject the Free National Movement in the 1242. Reject the Progressive Liberal Party. Reject them. Okay? And choose yourself to be a kingdom like Dr. Miles Monroe said. He was coming over with me. Okay? I ain't no king for y'all. I's king for Yahweh. Yeshua is my name, if you ask me, in the Holy Ghost. Emmanuel, God. Okay? Y'all want to take away the wealth of the Bahamian people, okay? By subjecting the Bahamian people to disabilities. You destabilize us, okay? And for some of us, you did it literally. I got all. Well, I had. I'm not sure if I can find them now, but that's okay. God got them. All the dates that my wife at the time, now ex-wife, was sent to Dr. Simmons. She had to go to. He was her doctor. Okay, he was the one prescribing medicine. Not Dr. Loshan, the Indian doctor, pediatrician, Dr. Loshan, who took care of my child. He's a good doctor. He's a good Indian doctor. Okay? It is the Bahamian doctor what gave my wife at the time medicine and caused Willis Miller great-grandson. Okay? First great-grandson by AmosJuniorMiller. They made him a disabled child. He came 5 months instead of 9 months. Okay? Right up to this day, he's still disabled. Only need his right leg to go in the hip socket, and they come up with every reason why he should be creeping on his knees. Calluses on his knees. Calluses on his big toes, on that bridge right there above his big toe. Calluses on my child hands. And his mother have a job working for General Electric, making close to $5,000 a month. And you can't get help for your child? You got your brand new husband telling the child's father, trying to upset and cause a problem, but y'all paid $70,000 for my child, and you just married him in 2013? So I asking you, 2014 or whenever the hell y'all got married, I asking you, when did your so-called no good husband who cheated with you before you got your divorce, when did you and him conspire to say, when Amos called, I'm not going to answer, I'm going to let you, the husband, answer, tell him you spent $70,000 on Joshua Jared Miller. I rebuke the demon in him, in my ex-wife, and in my ex-wife's church. That's a demonic spirit, because any church would welcome that woman and that man in it. The pastor is out of order. And that brings me to you, Neil Ellis. Now, so I expect, when I call the church, for years now I was calling the church. As much I was talking about this in the public, I have been calling the church. And you refuse to have a meeting with me. The last meeting you had with me, I was married to that woman, and my wife at the time, which is your second cousin, Bishop Neil Clarence Ellis. Thank God you get out of the full gospel, because you would know. Listen, you might be bishop, the world might call you Grace, but you know why you want them to call you Grace. Only the king is the grace around here, bro. And my grace is obviously not sufficient for you and my ex-wife and General Electric and the Bahamas government and anyone who would help the Bahamas government to defraud my child out of a surgery. I even ain't talking about the molestation about me. Y'all need me to repeat that? Huh? Y'all, how many people, including myself, have lost blood in this country by the hands of Bahamians? So ain't no Bahamian can talk to me. I don't need you to vote for me to be your king. I tell you, if you don't, you'll continue to die, because I'll leave this country and you'll never, ever hear a voice like this fight for you and your children and your grandma, your grandpa, and everybody, and then give you the wealth that was denied you and them. If I leave this country, you hear me? Now you all make up your own mind. You know what? Let me finish my reading. So the Bahamas cabinet, on this 21st day of January 2019, is in violation of the Bahamas Constitution, Chapter 3, Article 26. Okay? Total violation. Okay? They have also subjected the Bahamian people to restrictions. Okay? They have given the Bahamian people VAT. They're stealing our money, refuse to give us corporate tax and income tax to go along with the VAT tax and all of these other property tax. They're taxing the people for their property, poor people who can't afford it, and the people who could afford it, they're saying, if you're making under a certain amount of money, you don't have to pay no tax. They're a bunch of murderers. Already moved the child age for sexual consent from the ripe age of 18 to 21 down to 16. Because why? They want to bother with your children. They want to bother with you, and they want to bother with your children. They're going to bother with you by giving you these so-called government jobs or so-called hotel jobs or so-called foreign investment jobs. And while you're out at night, they got their little minions and rapists and robbers robbing your children out of their virginity. And they're using men to do it in our community. And then when you ladies go and ask them for a job in these companies, you got to go sleep with the boss before you can get a job. Listen, all the natural resources in this country belong to you. You only have to vote and say, recognize Amos Junior Miller as king of this country, and I'll give this nation and all his wealth to y'all, to you. Since they're afraid to die for doing this, then Bahamas, give it to me, let me do it, and let me prove to y'all they can't do me nothing. Because if I really start showing y'all what I got on some of these companies in America, and then explain to you what I got, you just don't know what you got and where you got it. You don't know where you have it. They know.